All right. Good evening. My name is Jared Link, and this is my video on the Commitment Survey Self-Assessment from page 28 of It's a Mental Thing. So I have some notes here to my left, so forgive me for looking at it a little bit. But first of all, I scored a 38 on it, which if you look at it, according to the book, I think it's Dale and Robbins, according to them, there is concern for my commitment, regarding my commitment. Now, I really don't, in my paper, I kind of spoke to how I don't love these type of assessments because I always find them difficult to answer some of the questions, and I tend to be my harshest critic. Like the other video that we were watched about the way that we talk to ourselves, that we talk to somebody else with more respect than we talk to themselves. I'm kind of that way. And so even just from the first question where I consistently demonstrate unwavering determination to succeed, it seems like you would think it seems pretty straightforward, but I even struggle with that where, yes, I agree with it. I can be slightly undecided in between the disagree with the consistent part. I think consistency is one of the things that I lack the most of professionally and maybe personally as well. But I think the hardest part for me being a head coach, one of the hardest things I learned was how to consistently bring the same energy every day. I still struggle with it, but definitely at the beginning it was one of the hardest things. And holding someone accountable every day consistently was difficult and still is difficult. It just has become easier as I've gotten in my 5th year now of having to do so. Another one is I never cut corners in my training, so I assume in my training as a coach refers to quite a bit of in our practices. And so in our practices, I do not cut corners in practice, but in preparation and the overall way our programs ran, I would argue that I'm looking for ways to not to cut corners isn't necessarily the right word, but I'm looking for ways to make it easier on myself, on my assistants, and maybe even the athletes. I spend a lot of time, and I think time is the most valuable thing I can give my athletes. But spending the amount of time that we do with them and on their future, it would be nice to be able to have some time for myself during the season. Outside the season, we're able to live a pretty good life. During the season, it's kind of madness. So I don't consider that necessarily cutting corners, but it could be construed that way. So I believe that I have a very strong commitment to what I do for a living and to the goals that we set forth that I have personally and professionally. I believe I'm very much committed to them, and that I come every day with that commitment. Like everybody else, sometimes I'm not as good in my commitment as I can be, or not, just don't have as great a day professionally. But I think that it's something that I continue to work on, and with those kind of set daily goals, daily reminders of let's just get better today, find a way to get better today. The overall goals take care of themselves. Not to reiterate the same topic of, I'm very much process oriented, and I believe we take care of the process. It'll take care of the outcomes that we want. Thanks. Have a good night.